I was told I've done a smear campaign, and I was wondering why someone would say that about a video where I attempted to confirm someone's claims of being a journalist. In videos about a year ago, I did 3 of them that involved mentioning this person or fully trying to vet their claims. Vienna, Austria occupant at the time, Jane Burgermeister, claimed to have a 4-year Edinburgh University of Scotland English master's degree and to be a now fired renewable energy world web correspondent, and claimed to be a journalist at or for or working for various times British medical journal Nature, The Scientist, Reuters, The Guardian, European Voice, and the American Prospect. And if you scroll down Google a lot, you can still find proof that Jane wrote for, quote-unquote, Reuters, and had an Edinburgh University English degree. That last part is so prosaic, it's not really relevant to the subject, but it would be useful for a journalist, obviously. What I found is if we do not allow for duplicates, or if we do, if we allow for multiple websites republishing the same unique work and or citations by people in scientific journals, we could find the following statistics about this individual about a year ago, a little bit over a year ago, really, but a year ago easily found. 150, 140, or 160 postings in total over an 8 to 10 year period of time, and or from 2001 to 2009, before a specific occurrence. That has nothing to do with what you can find now. That's what I could find within those time ranges at the websites or sources mentioned. And else, well, I added in more. This worked out to 140 posts in a 10-year period of time, 160 posts in an 8-year time, or 150 right in the middle in a 9-year period of time to make it rounded off as one post every 31 days, approximately. The maximum frequency was 18 days apart, and maximum was 31. And the reason I'm saying average is a larger number than 26 days, which was the minimum and or maximum ranges for posting frequency, is because that's by weighting it, by finding clusters of postings in certain months and other months, several months with nothing in the middle. And raw data. The Scientist magazine, 72 results from 2003 to 2005. 44 results from 2001 to 2013 on GoGale. This allowed for or disallowed duplicates, and I took an average. GoGale was harder to filter. 23 results from 2003 to 2008, 5-year period of time, mostly citation or opinion posting or actual science paper postings mentioning the individual, one every 80 days. And that was at the time whether or not they retracted or whether or not that was considered simply someone confirming another source or repeating the same data. On The Guardian, every 100 days or so, 2001 to 2006, 17 results. Every 44 days or so, 15 results, 2007 to 2008, or 2004 to 2008 or 9, British Medical Journal of Nature as a freelancer, opinion poster, every 97 days, or as, quote, an entrepreneur, guest commenter. 5 results in March of 2009 on the American Prospect, period, full stop. So 5 in a month. RenewableEnergyWorld.com before she was fired in a 2-month period of time, approximately 3 postings in 2009, but it's not really relevant. Let's just assume definitely posted there. And 1 posting on Reuters, which was her about page as an author and or a journalist, depending on the claim, and 1 anti-Obama comment or rant fest in 1 place. So saying, yes, you confirm that she was a journalist at Reuters. They didn't take the page down, so I guess they didn't contradict it, but I couldn't find any work by her at the time. That was 2009, 2 results only, and I don't think both of them count. 1 result on Politico in 2008, and again, it was probably a comment, but it's hard to track these things down. The European Voice is now only on the Wayback Machine and cannot be searched, so it has an unknown number of postings. What this works out to is 72 postings, 44 postings, 23 postings, and smaller numbers and change added together to be up to 150 postings, or really 72 postings, mostly on the Scientist magazine, being reposted to all of these other websites in varying degrees and then retained or deleted, but because of the duplications, adding up to maybe 150 or 160 posts in a 8 to 10 year period of time, depending on how you wish to do this. Now, this is almost exclusively before the year 2009. Obviously, there are postings to 2013. That leaves a 13-year, 10-year, or 8-year career of posting, but we're talking mostly about before 2009. So that is the span during which this individual had claimed by name or by inference to be a journalist. I found this to be somewhat lacking, but then again, in today's day and age, this isn't necessarily a good way to evaluate a person. Now, what happened in 2009 and changed things was that mostly, but not exclusively, again, on the Go Gale website with duplicates and repostings from previous years, you could technically say after 2009 to 2013, she was still being posted. But again, unique posting versus reposting versus citation. Most posts were on reader, political, editorial, opinion, letter, or aggregate websites only, not a site that would be considering those postings to be journalism or a journalist working for the website. In fact, only one of them acknowledged her as being an employee, which would be a hard, fast example. So one example on her CV, carte de visite, of being a journalist. Or not. 2009 in February, Baxter AG Biotechnology in Austria had a contamination case in a vial of medication that included the disease it was attempting to prevent, bird flu, or swine flu that year. Next, April, Jane Burgermeister, the person we're talking about, filed criminal charges against Baxter AG. By June of the same year, she had decided to file criminal complaints through Austria's version of the FBI, or a website, or an organization with the initials FBI, but now claimed the following individuals instead of or as well as Baxter AG. This is far-reaching enough that it looks like it's not about Baxter AG, and it's mostly sounding like a political protest. World Health Organization, the United Nations, the Federal Drug Administration of the United States, and, quote, the government of North America, various medical and pharmaceutical labs, etc. What was the claim? They deliberately created a fake flu pandemic, no evidence was provided, for the purpose of later administering dangerous medications in bulk, again, no evidence was provided, and an attempt at genocide, mass murder, and coercion of the constitutional organs, and high treason. Refusing to provide evidence, this was later declared a frivolous lawsuit, mostly to gain publicity, and, more importantly, she refused to provide any evidence of her complaints being valid. By making unsubstantiated claims, she could avoid a lawsuit for filing literally a frivolous lawsuit by deliberately filing a frivolous lawsuit and making sure that it had no merit. Also, she showed no reason that she should be the plaintiff, nor that any of these others should be the defendants, nor providing any evidence of any kind of falsification of a flu occurrence. I caught swine flu that year. I've been told by people that I couldn't have had it because it was faked. That the vaccine was there to depopulate people, and of course the population went up, so that disproves it, but that's ignored by people. And people are continuing to bring this up specifically just because one location, Baxter AG in Austria, had full copies of a disease infect a medication container, a vaccine. And that was being dealt with. And instead of filing just something rational about that, it became, let's create a meme and do it. By July, she was being fired. She had been fired from posting on renewableenergyworld.com. She had spent the previous many, many years, most of these postings, being an anti-vaxxer, somewhat, but mostly being in favor of green energy and green alternatives to heal the world. And in 2009, that all fell apart, apparently. April 13th, she started and first posted to her Bird Flu 666 WordPress website, claiming there was a plan by eugenicists, globalists, and vaccine depopulation pandemic agenda carriers. Unhinged, no evidence, no proof, no reason to believe her, nothing reasonable about it. There were other blogs she posted, and I'll mention them briefly. Blogger pages that contained 0 postings from 2009, presumably, called Legal Eagles VMD, and then VMD Legal Eagles blogger page, 2 postings in 2009. And then in 2010, 2 posts on her 2012 energy blogger page till 2012 itself, when the 2012 calamity didn't happen. Now, in 2010, June, at a court of justice, Judge, I can't pronounce it, Michaela Lauer-Heitzing, in connection with the handling of the state of her late father, initiated a judicial guardianship protection procedure against her. This is for people who can no longer take care of their affairs. Basically, her filing this court case, doing a complete cluster on it, and posting the stuff on Blogger maybe, had resulted in a quote-unquote a reference of reasonable and prudent person assuming or having reason to believe she was unable to handle her own affairs or be able to write out a check, sign a check legitimately, calling into question her ability to process and manage her own affairs or her life. It was 2010. It's a long time ago. On September 28, 2018, that was her last time she posted to her Bird Flu 666 WordPress posting site, and then stopped. 2019, April 3rd, was the last Wayback and Archive Today files created of it, and it was gone after that point. It was suspended sometime after that, no longer available now for various reasons. The others have been left up, and most of them have been left fallow. It could have been removed for various reasons. She could have also archived it and made it disappear and just keep the data. January 2020, she joined Twitter and a website called Knitter and claimed to be living in Greece. This is the first time she popped up like a cork since 2018. And she has one post on a new blogger page she posted in 2001 called The Fourth Empire, a blogger page. And that's literally all that we have on her. So if you want to, you can go look at her Twitter posting it, and she's raving about conspiracies and our bodily fluids and all that kind of stuff. Her court case or complaint or whatever you want to call it accomplished nothing and went out of its way to sabotage itself by naming defendants that can't possibly be brought in, number one, because of rules and regulations, number two, because she provided no evidence they should be, and number three, not really aiming at Baxter AG much, or whatever the company name. YouTube now mostly shows her speeches and lectures as re-uploads from decades ago. Also, you can see interviews with her. And it's mostly reposted as proof that anti-vaxxers are right and everybody else is wrong. And her claim that the vaccine is depopulation from 2009 did not happen, did not come true. And when it didn't come true, she started backpedaling and saying maybe it's a mild depopulator, something dark side. Anyway, all of the archives below will be readable. Some of them are archive onlys, and some of them are just website links. The ones that go to gogale.com are so long as far as being able to post them. I'm going to have to make archives of them because they won't fit. So what is my conclusion about this person? This individual has not demonstrated, in my opinion, the ability to be called a journalist, and only had a couple of locations on the internet that might have claimed it. One of them erroneously, and the other one she was fired. She is an English master's degree holder. She is an activist on green subjects, and she is an anti-vaxxer who is willing to post all sorts of stuff but not provide evidence or proof or make a real change. I find her to be lacking in general. Next, someone claimed that I was doing a smear campaign by pointing out that you can't confirm her carte de visite or resume or whatever about any of this. What you can confirm is she has a master's degree and she posted a lot. And the website postings are, unless you're really biased, very clearly opinion pieces by her. And again, no real evidence. She has a couple of court cases she's filed and one or two citations that look like real scientific papers more recently. I recommend you look at her Twitter instead and ignore the YouTube pages because they're rehashing old stuff. And again, she backpedaled instead of admitting when she was wrong. I don't find her to be credible, but that's my opinion. Thank you for watching. Have a good day. Good luck with that. And this has been an attempted vetting of Jane Burgermeister as a journalist instead of an activist. Good day.